Okay, and away we go again, and we welcome back from the United States of America, Mr. Showbiz himself, Peter Ford. Welcome back.
Thank you, good to be back.
Your trip was good?
It was terrific. A lot of junk food, which I love, and look at the result, but I had a good time.
Well, you might be the same as me. Perhaps you're just building yourself up some sort of defence mechanism.
That's right.
Peter, the reports from LA were excellent. Now that you're back here on home territory, what's happening in the world of showbiz?
Well, congratulations, first of all, we've got to say, to Jeremy Cordeaux in Adelaide, who we both know. He does the morning show on 5DN. He's the king of radio in Adelaide, and he also is now respected right around the world, because only a couple of days ago, he picked up an award in New York at the International Radio Festival as the best talk show host in the world. Not just Australia, the world. And I think that's a terrific thing. It's a sad thing that that sort of stuff doesn't get reported in the papers here. Now, if you think back a couple of months ago when Peter Allen's show Legs Diamond folded, the absolute it was glee. Sure. People reported that with glee. But when something great happens like this, it doesn't get any space anywhere. So
well, congratulations to Jeremy. He's a nice bloke. Is he as good as the man I believe to be the greatest radio man of all time, John Laws?
Probably it's a different style. There are sort of shades of Lawsy with Jeremy, but he's a very different performer, and certainly the people of Adelaide are lucky to have him there because he always gets offers to move to Sydney and to Melbourne too.
We should try to get him for the show next week.
He'd be terrific. He'd be terrific. Well, congratulations to Tony Barber on his 2,000. That was great. Neighbours coming up for their 1,000. That's great news. The big story, of course, in Hollywood is Rob Lowe. What about the Rob Lowe tapes? Isn't that hot stuff?
Is it what?
Well, I had a couple of calls from girls who work in our office, Bert, who wanted me to get pirate copies of it because they are available. $29.95 will buy you a VCR copy of the Rob Lowe tapes. Now, this is pretty hot stuff, as you can imagine. And, of course, the court case is going on still. Now, the latest thing is that the Rob Lowe's management are now suing the people who are suing Rob Lowe for extortion, because it's all very complicated and boring. But the interesting thing is, over the years, as well you know, so many Hollywood actors have been involved in sex scandals and lived to tell the story.
Yeah, I know that because I read about it.
Of course you do. You've never been involved with one yourself.
No, of course not.
But Sylvester Stallone in recent years...
Just very good friends.
Absolutely. That movie that Sylvester Stallone made, The Italian Stallion, that sort of resurfaced, and that got him into a lot of trouble. But going back in time, think of Fatty Arbuckle.
Yes.
Remember Fatty?
Very well, yes, I do. I know his movies very well.
Well, he was in big trouble, of course, because there was a 3-day orgy went on.
At the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco.
Absolutely, and at the end of it, of course, a young girl was found dead.
Virginia Rapp.
Absolutely, and he was tried 3 times, finally acquitted.
Judge Collins, I think it was.
Judge Collins. It's impossible, isn't it? Well, he, of course, was found innocent of that, but, of course, the damage was done by all the court cases.
He was a great comic too, actually.
Yeah, he was a great performer. Well, he, of course, drank himself to death in the end, so he didn't survive a sex scandal. Charlie Chaplin certainly did. Now, he was sent to the altar with a shotgun and a 16-year-old girl, the star of a movie called The Gold Rush that he made, so he was involved in a pretty heavy thing too. He survived to tell the story. Tab Hunter, remember Tab Hunter? Mm-hmm. Well, Tab's career came to an end in 1960 when he was convicted of beating a dog, which is a pretty nasty thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
So he certainly didn't survive. That really damaged his career incredibly. And Robert Mitchum, he was convicted of smoking dope. So all these people...
But he got through that, didn't he?
He got through that, but that was back in 1948 when smoking dope was a pretty serious thing. So those people have all been involved in scandals. So what will happen with Rob Lowe remains to be seen. I think he will come out of it unscathed. I don't think he'll be taken seriously as an actor. I think, in fact, his stakes as an actor will go up and his price will go up because now he's seen as a much more attractive property to the public.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, back in 1948 when Robert Mitchum had those problems, I mean, it could have almost been the end of his career. And the sort of tapes that he did, Rob Lowe, I mean, back 20 years ago, it would be the end of his career completely.
Very
and yet
much
now
so,
it makes him even hotter. To wind off, Pete, a little prediction or a little bit of gossip or what?
Sammy Davis Jr. has a new book out. It's called Why Me? It's a good book, Bert. This is for you. This is your copy.
Thank you.
He talks about Australia very fondly in it. Sammy's coming back to Australia in November. He's doing a movie version of Bonanza in Queensland, which next year could become an ongoing television show.
Who's he playing?
Little
Hoss.
Joe, I think.
Little Joe, of course he does play Little Joe. I tell you, he'd be a wonderful hoss. Who? Maggie Kirkpatrick. Well, they're very close, aren't they?
They are very close, yes, they're like that.
I'm
yes.
joking.
And Bernard King, too.
Bernard King, of course, he cooks for him on set. OK, thanks, Peter. Welcome back, and we'll see you next week.
Sure will.
Good on you. Peter Ford on Showbiz.